Calm and collected, we stood our hexes, broke out from Texas when the voodoo broke out of the Rexes from the sexes of the lab of the belly of the AI tax collectors. Rolling the Crow, Sam Murrin, Doc, pushing CNA, straight out Cox. X and O wasn't even safe from the hostile takeover of your tongue to speak. Baby Lon, London was Jap, Nola Hook J. We got out the trap. Doggone, D-Ragon, Rag not so thick, took over control, script by script. Vikings and rabbis, vixens and abbeys, Addie, too shaggy, juicy, where's Daddy? Santa Morte, Santa More L, breaking these spells, L-E-R, no more motor, no cigar. 200 wild, the world was on trial, chasing shadows of existence through obelisks and biscuits. Santa Saint song, what the hell went wrong? Spinning tales of our mission kept our souls in transition. Hippity hoppity, hippity ho, hippity hoppity, hippity ho. Spiders on my lip waiting for the drip. Hippity hoppity, tiger by the toe didn't want to let go. Hippity hoppity, virgins on the lap selling DNA for scraps. Hippity hoppity. Hoes on patrol, full Saudi control. Rabbis bread lines, ha-ho, oh ha, beaming from the sky. Rabid rabbits we became, trapping hair in a vein. Jabbering jaws made frequency flaws. Fooling foxes from old pharaoh's toxins. Taking the tit all the way to the split. Hippity hoppity, Playboy DNA made by wine in the gang. Hippity hoppity, AC on deck, claws around the unicorn's neck. Hippity hoppity, you must forget to not break a sweat, wrapping gold around Cleo's neck. Hippity hoppity, popo and pigs, piracy and wigs. Hippity hoppity, pope dope and pain, dashing verse from space. Hippity hoppity, drain blood from a rock, got the chicken pox. Hippity hoppity, Moses on deck, flooded the ark to your nose and your neck. Hippity hoppity, worlds of inflation, trapped inhalation, made by Gates Nation, breeding CD, made from DC to hook on the ROM for Aldebaran, trapping the seeds they held on their needs to push out tones all of you existed on. Whether you believe the set is the scene, don't let your eyes deceive. I'm a genie and you just set me free. Welcome to your new ascended free queen seed. I'm a genie and you just set me free. Welcome to your new ascended free queen seed. You want to know my name? What's the time frame? Angels crawl through walls of the labs in your veins. You want to know my tricks? You want to get rich? Discover your desire and get off my tit. Santa Morte, what did she say? RTE had me sipping on cane. All Saints fraud, what's a swift clause? FTE can't cut my wings. Santa More L, breaking these spells? LER, no more motor, no cigar. 200 wild, the world was on fire, chasing shadows of existence through obelisks and biscuits. Santa Saint song, what the hell went wrong? Spinning tales of our mission kept our souls in transition. I link into the shadow realm of all existence of space and time and align with the original template. Any energetic or any energy being led into my situation to be trapped, used to produce, used to store, used to connect any projection without being a fair and equal exchange process agreed to both parties in the physical. I command all illusions of real estate deals across all timelines of existence to fall in a good or bad way to give me the quickest route to connect and collect to the produce my energy at its fullest potential to create my now reality. We command and humbly request of our ancestors and guides to now appear to us in the physical for any assistance on the arts and creation of the cogs to exist in our structure to unlock the ancient keys. We humbly request confirmation process on earth to prove our true inheritance, and so it is. Arizona, galactic showdown ended. Love ancestors. 12/11/2021. I humbly request my potential partners in the highest line approved by all of you to be introduced in the next 3 days with a redo you, blue and white. Are you a queen bee? Take a closer look and let us see. Then this is an entire king and queen training. Love letters from Lilith to Eve. Sisterhood of the Rose. Lisa. And her phone number. B. Melissa. Hippity hoppity. Pirates and pigs, reclaim, I command all date associated to me and mine, all DNA records and codes attached to all dimensions of all space and time, aligned in our soul templates and align on all Saturn's projections. I command my tech and data magnetized to me. I command all metals, our free C, queen C of currency be magnetized to me in all dimensions of all space and time, and so it is since 1696, 1551. Us angels are trippy. Warning labels. A Mermaid's Guide to the Stars. The Co-Muse story. Max and Allison, Maximilian, Allison, Arison, Artisan, Moon Magic, Virgin lit the candle, Hocus Pocus, 86221-76221, 4141-7641, 553141, 1001-355-020-31001. 4001. Change dimensions. The Matrix Speakeasy. When, where, and why. CMS, Flourish. CMS, Texas, Canva. Nonprofit for IRS, 1023. First event. Prong approach. Star search. Land, where war was fought, not buried. Jack was fracked to make Jill. Cancelman. Betty Armstrong. Lake Mead. Kentucky to Ohio. Switching. Illinois Historical Society. Babygate. Our family line of power to another that happened when we broke. Babygate. One family line of power to another is what happened when we broke. Scientology, Mormon, divine baby, stork energy, birth pods, trigger serves of birth depending on how hooked into the Essene line, and then depending on how many linked into you, and geopolitical DNA codes predict how far out you spawning. In what dimension? Depends on what energy you're spawning with. FedEx, Astoria, Laminations, Roseville, Productions, Facebook. Zodiac. Water, salt, ocean, ash. Now we're in the children. Sarah. Doctor Who. Antares 6996Z, Orion, don't hate, elevate, Salem, watch out, New Gypsies. Lyra, I didn't get the program. QR Facebook, Michelle. Picture of what? Why? Meet others. The last paragraph. Fake pandemic inside of a co-social. No vid allowed. Who programmed the purple pill? O4310. Ali Bobby. Distro Kid. Royal Robes. 05. 8088. Biker Jacket. Shopify. Dagamas. Dagama. 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 Columbus, Ohio, 444, November 13, 2021. Food. Your mother's. Houston. Business. Drax. Tiffany's. Yellow and blue, yellow and blue, yellow and blue. TikTok timelines Taurus, TikTok timelines Taurus, TikTok cot, TikTok kit cot, TikTok, 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 $10.46, 1001-020. Ship. Burger Royal Flush. To the moon. Truest. Chastity Calf. Starco. Can't we all just get along? We're in a human octagon. Can't we all just sing this song? Forget what all went wrong. Can't we all just get along? We're in a human octagon. Bad barter system for humans, Bellatrix race programs. Delete. Giselle Godin, delete. Blank page. TBA. What color were the flowers? Christ number 404, now home. The end.
What's your frequency?
I don't think we've ever seen anything like this before. This chart has 8 empty houses. 6 empty houses is indigo on an equal house setting. 7 empty houses is crystal child. 8 empty houses, come see me, 'cause you were made. You were 100% made and written to play a specific role, no matter good, bad, or indifferent. This collective chart right here was made and written to play a specific role. Those of us who have been writing it since 2018 know what I'm talking about. Those of us who are here on this planet in order to connect us into higher timelines and parallels because our bodies were made to do it, wrote this. There's a lot going on, finally, about end times. It's not end times, it's just the end of time. Time as we knew it. Time as it was dictated to us in this bubble. Time as it was being stopped time, why can all of us who clear time travel? Because it is what we do. It's what my crew and I have been doing, and I specifically have been doing a ton of time traveling. And what does that really mean? Because it doesn't look like Doctor Strange. It really doesn't. Your time travel and your ticker are all inside you. And each one of us hold different sets of time. But all of it was in the past. Because there is no time anymore. I've been down for the past few days clearing, and I've been a little bit sicker than I've been in a long time. But I also know that there's other groups of us that are all clearing this right now together, because there's many of us around us that are having these same symptoms. But just like my last video, when we talked about those 0 to 5 degrees of Aries and these connections that have to be made inside the body, and that is what's happening. Those neurons and those genetics are reassembling, and the body has to be able to transform to hold the higher frequency that your heart and your mind and your clearing have produced for you. And I can promise you that we ain't ever seen no chart like this before. And excuse me for my drainage and stuff. I didn't want to not come on here because of it. Because I know many of us are going through this right now. Do not take medications if you don't have to, because it'll only cap it for a second. It's not a virus. It has to be completed. So if you have to take any type of over-the-counter medications, then just know that you're taking it in order to get through a specific time, because you've got to do something, and then it still has to complete. This chart. So we've got Pluto. The main thing is Venus jumped Saturn yesterday. Venus was on top of Saturn at 21 degrees yesterday. Now we're all the way at 23 of Aquarius, which is dead on Cygnus. So 23 degrees of Aquarius is dead on Cygnus. Well, what's Cygnus? Cygnus is what we call the angelic realm. Cygnus beings were in the very first ascension on this planet. Before there were Sirius, before there was, before even there was Regulus. You either went to Cygnus or you went to the Hyades. Cygnus was the etheric beings. So you either died and you went up into the angelic side, or you were sent to the Hyades, which meant that you went into a body with no connection down here on Earth. We would call it hell. But Hyades really is that your spirit and your soul went into an animal or a body down here that did not have connection to what? Cygnus. Now the second evolutionary gate, then we come into Regulus and Arcturus. So the very next ascension gate that happened on this planet, and we're talking millions and millions of years ago. Now, then you had Cygnus and Hyades, then you had Regulus and Arcturus. But Arcturus, in that time count, would be considered the Hyades. Arcturians are balance in all things now. Arcturians can always point out the evil. They are the most extreme alchemists. Why? Because we have lived those lower lines, called witches, called this, called that, right? Whereas Regulus is Cygnus beings. Regulus is the living beings that were attached to the ones from Cygnus. And Regulus in the old Leo count became the kings and the queens, the Merovingian lines, the Egyptian kings and queens even, although that's hooked back into Cancer. But any beings then henceforth that were born under those lines and Regulus in the old Leo count, which is at 25, 26 degrees of Leo, is directly opposite of what? Cygnus, which is in Aquarius, which is where Venus is right now. So not only did Venus just jump Saturn, and Venus makes things real here. Venus is a current that Venus is energetic and is a current and allows for building blocks, much like the instructions to a Lego set. If you have a whole bunch of Legos but you have no instructions, then you really don't know. And there is something up with Legos too, by the way, like, I don't know, angle ego. But I'm using that as an example because Venus is, no matter where Venus is in your chart, it's what your reality is, because it's what tones and frequencies line up all of your reality. So one of the main things I look at when we look at people's charts is, where's your Venus? If your Venus happens to be in Cygnus, then you've always had this angelic type of energy around you, no matter what role you were playing. And all of those and more angelic type stories and kings and queens would tend to be in your reality. Well, that's where Venus is right now. And it just jumped Saturn. So Venus is imprinting all of the karma and dharma, not only from the past 7 years, but the past 25 years. And it's setting the move forward for all of us with that in mind. So whatever you've been up to, whatever you've been doing to other people, whatever your pure intention was for no matter what it was, or if you've been messing with people, then get ready to be messed with. And on a very grand scale, because this was an angelic army that is here for these times. And there's just certain ones of us that have to complete what we came here for, whether you understand it or not. That's why we're here. That's why we understand it. But there is no more separation in this, because we're just done with it. But right now we're feeling that big time, because Venus is not only conjunct Saturn, we're also conjunct Mars, and Mars is way behind. Venus has moved in front of Mars. I mean, it's just a couple of weeks ago we were dancing together, right? Maybe a month ago. And Mars is what is like the rock. Mars is the boom. Mars is the fire coming out of the sky. Sorry. Excuse me. So Mars is still in 16 degrees Aquarius. So it's still, Mars is, kind of like on the helicopter getting pulled off a string, on a gurney. Mars is on the gurney. He's attached to the helicopter. But he's just kind of getting a preview. He's flying through the air because he's not going to be allowed to ground until all of this is situated. And now he's got to go across Saturn too. But meanwhile, Venus is pulling ahead. And then all of that has this rare quincunx that's connected to the moon and Jupiter. So right now the moon is going over Jupiter at 20 degrees of Pisces, which is this hybrid space station, which is this which is Zeta Reticuli, which is the Greys, which is this whole alien invasion, right? And all of the Greys and even the aliens can be explained, but it didn't happen the way you think it happened. It happened because the government and all these fucking morons down here have been messing with the occult energy and messing with things they shouldn't have been messed with, and literally were zapping us out of our bodies, souls out of bodies, and working with these other entities, creating entities. It's why Zeta Reticuli is not in my book, nor will it ever be in my book. It's why I don't call it that anymore, because it's not. It's basically a hybrid space station that was an energy that was held in a vector up in Pisces that was governing this entire energetic flow of this wheel on Earth and attempting to make it an alien invasion, attempting to make it seem like something so far out. That can even be explained by a lot of us being sawed in half, turned on backwards. Because whenever you're a projector and all of a sudden you're projecting the opposite way, then how can you move forward? And if you're not projecting on Earth anymore, you're projecting out into space, then what are you going to see if a whole bunch of bodies and souls had been stripped? You're going to see beings. And see, this is where this isn't just the ascension of the human race. No. This is this was the end of a 1,000,000-year count. 1,000,000 years. And it started in 2018, y'all. This is where we get to find out about everything. This is where we have all the answers. Only problem is we have groups of beings that think that those answers belong to them, and they think that they haven't even got here yet. And in all actuality, all the answers are here, and we've already used them in order to get where we are 4 years later. But yet, the beings that act like they want to be the one, or they were assigned the part, or whatever the F, didn't do their job. So now what is going to be shown is who was really doing the work. And you really there is no way to mimic it. If your energy isn't cleared and you're holding on to a lot of money right now, a lot of old money, if you've got a lot of old money, if you're linked into a lot of corporations, I don't care where that money came from. You can't get new money. You can't collect nothing. You can't store it. Your field is solid. There's no place to put it. You got a car that's full of baggage. How are you going to put anything else on it? You can't put anything else in it. It's full. You want to be attached to all of that old shit? You want to keep perpetuating something that doesn't work? You want to keep doing things. You know, the reason I'm not on here doing readings, this is a great example. I'm not doing drawn chart readings right now. There's many reasons why. Mainly because the ancestors won't allow me, because there's been too much fuck shit going on behind the scenes whenever I do give charts and do read charts, because I am so powerful in the cosmos. Whatever I say that you are, you become. And so the system was using me to basically create my own enemy. And so it's not allowed right now. Now, that's a great example. Do I need cash? Yeah. Could I come on here and market and get a bunch of $200 and $300 readings? Yeah. But I know that it's not what I need to do, because it's how I did it before. No, I need to move forward with everything that we're doing to get this information out to the masses. To where I'm not doing readings, to where I'm teaching y'all how to do your own readings. That is where I know my future lies. So that is a great example of not going back to the past, but also realizing that if you haven't cleared your energy and if you haven't cleared your ancestral karma, I don't care who you are not bringing in new earth energy, nor will you be given any, because your machine, your bubble can't handle it, can't process it, and definitely can't hold it, because the collective funds all come in at once. It ain't your money versus China's money versus Russia's money versus, we're seeing it play out right now in a geopolitical chess match. But they're all coming for one thing, that connection to Alexandria and the Nile. And then that connection down to Australia. There's ports inside this earth that most are not aware of. But there's only one energy frequency that makes whatever you call money, whether it's gel, peso, pounds. It all comes from the same group that always made it before. And it is not from commerce. It's energetic. So the moon is really highlighting that right now as we go over Jupiter. And we've got this unique little connection that's happening right there. And then on the other side in Aries, we have Mercury conjunct the sun. So what you say becomes reality, number one. And number two, it's going to be a new reality because the story that was written, or you're in your occult story, or you're in your Epstein story, because it's what they wrote for you. And you can basically nix out kings and queens and all that because they came and wrote their own little version of this go to hell storybook and assigned whose characters and whose lines had to pay for what. And of course, they didn't include themselves in that whole thing. And so there's been a big Yahtzee mix up with these dice right now. Meaning all the dice, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you wrote it or not. You can't be excluded. You will pay the karma of whatever it is that you've been doing, because we have rewritten and we have wrote over those stories. They still exist. You're choosing. But if you are choosing to go the higher route, if you're choosing to get out of the wheel, now's the time to do it. So we've got Sun conjunct Mercury right there at 8 degrees, and Chiron's coming up 12 degrees, and it's not quite over it yet, but it's almost there. And that 12, 13, 14, 15 degree mark, that's right around where my natal Chiron was. And that Chiron sitting basically at the front of Alpha Draconic 2, Alpha Draconic Notice 2. And if you know anything about the Alpha Draconic constellation, you know that baby is massive. And there's 5 wheels, 5 little twists that you've got to get through. And it's massive. Earth is so small. So small. But Alpha Draconic Notice 2 is the 44 template. And it's the new Earth body template that you have to process and integrate in order to stay alive in the future. We don't have as much water. We don't have the air is different. And there's those of us beings that have basically sacrificed our whole lives in order to come here and produce the air that you're breathing right now. Because we always had bodies from the future. But here's where it got all a little nuts down here with the government, cloning, these things that nobody really wants to talk about because it's not just Pizzagate and the occult. Okay, what were they doing on the other side of that? They want you to focus on that so that you're not knowing that they've been cloning people in order to make their own little armies of supporters that were attached into them, almost as if a vampire sired a whole entire race of people. But races were for sale, especially the Philippines. So that's what I'm at today. I can decode your names. And so I'll be coming on in a minute to tell y'all, and it won't be much, to send me your name, and I can send you ciphers of your names. I am allowed to do that, and I actually now can give you much more information than even looking at your chart for 2 hours by just deciphering your given names. Which dimensions you're blocked on, which you're not. And it's all phonetically coded into the highest phonetic strand, which was the undoing of well, it was telestai. And when we started having to change the key codes on the building blocks of the Legos, because the master builders that were down here were building it all from a 33 layer and were not building any of it above it. And the 44 is where the new body template is. The 44 is the timelines that we wrote. And 55 is the highest dimension. Okay? That you can get up here. At 55, it's going to double over. 55, you've got change. You've got double change. And that's why. So basically, at 55, it comes back down and bursts on itself. So also, if you're if you've been like me and you've been cosmic surfing for the past 4 years, you might be like me right now, processing some energy. But understand that that's just us now connected into the entire human race. Because we have no more individual races of sires. Now people can accept that or not. Because it is what it was. And understand too that there is nothing down here that angelics are able to do that wasn't done before. We basically had to figure out how it was being done before and do it that way. So that's why a lot of this seems foreign to a lot of beings that have been capped off in a shamanistic view or an archangel view. And then they hear some of the things that we say, and it feels maybe dark or evil or not like the full ascended would say. But honeys, is everyone on this planet activated right now? No way. If we were to zap away the matrix right now, what would happen? Complete chaos. Because no one even knows that they're writing their own story. No one even knows that they were in somebody else's system. We have progressed so far beyond what the human race can even comprehend because everybody went to go get a jab and seal it up. Especially the ones that were in Hollywood that were made as the high-end clones in order to do it all. Hell yeah, they're the ones that they vaccinated first. So don't judge how your ascended and how your ancients have set this up right now. Because until everyone gets it, there is no other way than how it was done before.
Maz, darling. Maz, stop running. Stop running, Forrest. Stop running, Forrest. I'm really tired of chasing you, and we already know. I mean, you can't. I know you're calling ahead to Pluto. I know that you are trying to hide those documents and those contracts that you set up on us. We already know about them, darling. Stop running. Stop making the phone call. It ain't gonna, we already know. It's just slow down. Pluto is very aware of what made you sign those contracts. Pluto's very aware of all the cloning that's been going on, especially within the RH negative and the handler communities on this planet. Oh, Lord, we have a full story to tell. Pluto had to get high again just to freaking intake this. 25 degrees, we're lined up. Just stop running, darling. Nobody's mad. Sun's already come through the formal hot. We've already been through and looked the devil straight in the eye. Saturn coming into Cygnus is really helping us out. We're all walking through heaven's gates right now, making sure that innocent people didn't sign up for spells that could trap their soul right now is what's happening over here. So please don't run. Because that is what's getting all that information into Jupiter back over into the sun, which is at 10 degrees Pisces. And that's a great connection to have for lots and lots of fish from 10 degrees Pisces out there to where Neptune has been beaming from a fake space station that was taken over by air. A battle of air and water that's been going on down here for a really long time. And then the beings like me that know exactly how to get through air and water. And then at certain constellation times on this planet, whenever we're talking about evolution and we're talking about nuclear war, are we surprised that we have been rebuilding the DNA? I told y'all, everything blew up down here. All that is hitting Uranus right now, and it's going back over to Saturn, and it's going back over to Mercury, and the moon is coming over it right now in Aquarius. All this mess about everything you know, about anything you know. Yeah, that's the story. Those are the connections per a human perception. And the human perception was being controlled. No matter, this is justice. No matter what the collective has called for and what is back in session is divine law on this planet in all ways. It has been back on for a while, but I know now you're seeing it. All you have to do is stand in your energy and know what you not know. Know what you don't know. Know what you don't know and accept that you don't know it, and then ask for assistance to help you get the answers that you need. And if you know that you need protection and you know that you need support, then ask for it out loud in some cases for a while. It'll get to a point where you don't have to do it out loud. In the beginning, you have to, because the current of your voice is what breaks the spell. That's a trick of the devil. Thinking that you gotta hide. No. You need to say it out loud. And then whenever you don't know, then you have beings like us and my crew. And some of you, if I'm busting this from YouTube, your crew. And all of you guys have your own specialties, don't you? Each independent crew and system is working on something, aren't you? You're doing something together. This is how we do it. This is New Earth. We've already been through that shredder. We've also changed history and we've changed time. Nothing has to happen if we don't allow it, but we also need solutions. When you're in the network, you get pinged with some of those, don't you? You'll go along your journey and everything will be cool, or not, because it's been a pretty rocky journey, right? Because we've been traveling in and out of time because corporations said that they owned us, and that's what was running the world. Because your energy is your money, is your time, is your focus. That is your money. That is your currency. If you don't have any money, where's your focus? What are you focusing on? Well, I know my team and us, we've been focusing on getting our souls out of a handling system that, unbeknownst to us, was imprinted on us in our fucking DNA sequences. And actually made and put in there for this time so that whenever we'd get to this point and clean the collective, that they can utilize us to take over the world and lock y'all into cages. And that's the truth. But if you have Hopi codes, then you were programmed to do the same thing. So be grateful that there's those of us who have walked the path that we have walked. And whenever we meet one another, we need to listen to one another. Why? Why? Because we've walked the same journey, different angle. Every perception. And I guarantee you it was happening at the same time. Because there are no more dimensions on this planet, and the Masonic infrastructure is falling quick. And whenever I say that, everybody claps. But I need everyone to understand what that really means. That means everything that it was a government institution or system that was set up on black magic no longer works. How are we going to run cities? How are we going to pull together? What are we going to do? We don't like the police. Okay, how are we going to organize that? That is where our focus needs to be. In all shapes and all ways. Do not look back. Look forward. Do not look back. Be reminded of every instance the last 3 years that something went horribly wrong when you did something, and I promise you it's coming back up right now to see if you did it again, didn't you? Don't do it again. And then guess what? None of it ever happened if it was 2 years ago or 1 year ago. When you didn't do it again, everything that happened because you did that was just now erased, because that's what top skills we have over here. We've been cleaning it. We've been conscious. And this is a little up it up because it was completely infiltrated. But don't make the same decision if it was the wrong decision. If it was the right decision, then heck yeah. My brothers and sisters, lock it in. But lock it in. Realize it is coming back up for review real quick. We had to do a quick spin around the pole. Extra. That's the message to Venus and the collective. It was 5 years ago. 5 years ago. And it was 2019, 3 years ago to the day that I was sitting in the same spot here in Texas. And the SpaceX 9 demo went out, and all of a sudden it took me 3 hours to fight off some fucking crazy ass sperm that was coming at me, and it blew me into dragon status and out of the matrix, and I've been running ever since. about 1 a.m. after they sent me those Hopi codes to clean. I got the data to prove it. And then it shot me up into some strange reality. I've got pictures that was a tech world. Nothing was real. But I'd already been fed the clone DNA, see, but I drank both of them. I was only supposed to drink one. But Gabriel jumped into my body that morning and took over, and I drank both of them. So that I could make sure that my son wasn't being sold and taken over, which meant the divine masculine down here. But if that had happened once, it had happened before, right? When I walked out that door on Sunset Way, I told Abby, I gave her note back to her. The note she had left on the toilet that said, live today like it's your last. Mars, we already know. Deception was way worse than anything that you could think that you thought that you think that you were maybe involved with, because, oh God, it goes so much higher. And us that are up here that understand this from a maternal level, it was our overall divine mission to come down here and figure out what the fuck happened. I don't care if you want to listen or not. Get ready, because we're all going to be screaming it. Venus, over and out. Okay. If we knew the world was gonna explode, we had to hurry it. We had to do a bunch of shit. Everything that's been done down here had to be done in order to connect the human DNA for when this bomb went off. Okay. We were getting messages down here from first Alderon is what, and then it was Andromeda and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That is all correct, but we were laid here to get it. Okay. And I'm made with pure intention, basically, at this point, because I was the original sacrifice. Basically, that's why I was able to blip in and out, because I was fucking the oversoul of the planet. Now we know. But as soon as there was an intention, okay. Hitler gassed a bunch of people. He gassed a bunch of people, and then he assigned them color codes. Fucking literally. He assigned them color codes and different things. It was basically Nebuchadnezzar how it happened, but it's actually because of the greed and fucking what all just went down right now that it ended up manifesting like that. Number one, because it had to be all fucking put back together. Because everybody came and tried to kill everybody, and they killed his mother, and he fucking knew it. See, because he was a Rothschild too, because this had been going on a goddamn long time. Longer than, fucking A. We figured this shit out back in the damn 1920s. Delete everything you think you know about anything. My God. This whole thing was set up from the late 1800s. And then bloop, 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 your brain back even further than that, and it'll blow your fucking book goggles. Alright? because of the way that they were twisting time and doing it all with black magic and fucking crazy ass shit. So, fuck me running sideways and upside down, because if, oh my God, because if it was bound in, okay, so they color-coded everybody and gassed them. Now everyone's etheric, got it over with, but at least you're not dead for 1,000,000 years. I mean, I know it's a big uh-oh, and I know it's a big decision, but it's kind of like also divine law. Like, it wouldn't have been allowed to take place in the fucking way that it took place if there wasn't some type of universal law associated to it. And I just figured out that the goddamn Indians were formed because they named the fucking servers Apache. So nothing was going on down here that was fucking sane. Alright? And so then what that did was basically recolor code all the DNA. So basically what it did was clean a bunch of lines really quick, although it was really fucking sick and fucked up how it happened. And then what was also going on is a bunch of crazy science experiments, zapping people's souls out, all kinds of crazy shit. And then I ended up being like patient crazy X. That was like the shadow side that no one knew about. That was getting fed the entities and all that type of shit, because it was basically from underwater and above, yada, yada, yada. Those were the connections, whatever. That is what manifested as a demonic entity and everything down here, even in other energies. And, golly, something is going off in my head. But what it did was allow for whenever the action, because it allowed us to get over the false breeding thing and connect everything back in to bring peace on the planet, fucking for real. And it saved everybody's soul. And if their intention was to do that the whole time, then basically it's like as soon as they gas themselves, it's like I would just appear somewhere. I'd just appear. I'd appear on that same constellation lineup as whatever the intention and the binding was. But Natalie and I have just realized and figured out, and I did actually, and I've been talking to it about with Natalie, because this goes back to the crucifixions. I swear to God that this is the intention when they crucified Christ. What's going on right now? An AI takeover. And they had to kill all those people before they got to Yahshua. Oh, yes, they did. And they crucified every single line. And it fucking blipped them into AI world. Ding, ding. Welcome to the 1900s. I'm telling you. Holy shit. See, and then they thought, and that's why they kept spellbinding me. We weren't doing shit. We were just making people disappear and shit. It's how we ended up becoming bulletproof to begin with. This is starting to make sense now, because then I ended up in Naziville, Texas. But it's where all the money was, with the Hitler accounts and the hidden accounts. See, I had all the fucking hidden accounts. This is why they were after me. Trust that. But I've been screaming to all these unconscious people, y'all don't even fucking know what all we're collecting here. It's gonna blow your mind. Because I really firmly believe the intention was always to put it back in the proper families to begin with. Because we knew that Germany had all the damn keys in the United States and they were fucking with everyone's names, and at the end of days everything was gonna be all fucked up, and it was. See, but the whole even thing with Maria Orsic, this was the Queen's plan. Oh, Lord, help me, God. It was the Egyptian Queen's plan that created all this. It was. It was. Even, oh my God, even how they have this SAP set up is most likely from the Queen's pyramid. It's most likely the Queen's DNA. And all they did was fucking start chopping off heads and shit in France and burying it, trying to replicate it. Oh my God, I'm right. Tartarian infrastructure. There it is. What the fuck? Drop. Just. Oh my God. Oh my God. Because the men knew nothing about it. Y'all. I mean, it's good and bad. And it ended up fucking us over, kinda. But it's the only way we could keep a secret. It was literally coded in the DNA on certain fucking prototypes. Like, oh my God. See, and this is Thule. See, and this is why my shit's all been about, like, the orders and all this shit. Oh my God, see. I mean, I've known I was her. I mean, that was obvious. And the Hitler and the Rothschild and the Cook and all that crazy ass shit. But see. Oh my God, I have to save this video for sure because, I mean, I'm laughing at the same time because what they ended up doing is injecting the entire human race with the one thing that they were trying to keep from the entire human race. Basically. Oh, Jesus God. This shit is fucking crazy as hell. I did open up a time portal, though. And we knew that we went through some type, and I know at the highest too, we had to put a dome on the entire human race because this motherfucker blew up. And there wasn't any, I'm a doomsday seed. I'm a blue flame. Like, it's my job to put it back together and figure out what the fuck happened. See, but this motherfucker blew a long time ago. I mean, let me put this into perspective.
Here's the problem. This was the original. This is at the beginning of the book. This is what nightmare it turned into. This shit is all underground. See the 5? Boom. Boom. These are highway patterns, but they're also connected to Watergate. Watergate. This is Florida. What the fuck is that? Here's the 7. This is where these line up. This is a big bubble. Pure out here. Sigma and epsilon and all that are all right here. This is Stonehenge. They built this off this. Here's the feminine. So, because I just can take control of all planes, all cargo, and sugar. All sugar that goes through anybody because it's attached to the evergreen, and I can claim sugar because I know how sugar is processed through my body, and my entire family fucking processed sugar. It was the Mary Magdalene line. It's the Louisiana Purchase. So I call in all sugar to activate everybody that eats it to the power that everybody enslaved the human race in order to control people with it, especially the children. So I command that all sugar activate the ascended to the highest ability and wake everybody up and heal them. And I command all machinery that does any type of processing down to any type of grain or any type of transport across the planetary lines, including waterways, submarines, anything made out of metal, any gas that has to be gone into it because it was made by me and my fucking family. I take control of all that bullshit now, and I release it to my highest ascended crew. And we do it to the power of whoever puts the goddamn nuclear bomb. And so it's a fuck it. Here's the problem. This was the original. This is at the beginning of the book. This is what nightmare it turned into. This shit is all underground. See the 5? Boom. Boom. These are highway patterns, but they're also connected to Watergate. Watergate. This is Florida. What the fuck is that? Here's the 7. This is where these line up. This is a big bubble. Pure out here. Sigma and epsilon and all that are all right here. This is Stonehenge. They built this off this. Here's the feminine. So, because I just took control of all planes, all cargo, and sugar. All sugar that goes through anybody because it's attached to the evergreen, and I can claim sugar because I know how sugar is processed through my body, and my entire family fucking processed sugar. It was the Mary Magdalene line. It's the Louisiana Purchase. So I call in all sugar to activate everybody that eats it to the power that everybody enslaved the human race in order to control people with it, especially the children. So I command that all sugar activate the ascended to the highest ability and wake everybody up and heal them. And I command all machinery that does any type of processing down to any type of grain or any type of transport across the planetary lines, including waterways, submarines, anything made out of metal, any gas that has to be gone into it because it was made by me and my fucking family. I take control of all that bullshit now, and I release it to my highest ascended crew. And we do it to the power of whoever puts the goddamn nuclear bomb. And so it's a fuck it.